There we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to So Your Friend is Landsworn. How many of you are currently Landsworn?
I'm occasionally season sworn.
Season sworn. Nope. I'm Landsworn. I was going season sworn. Gave up. We're just going to go Landsworn. Or long-term season sworn. Anyway. What are some things that you guys who are not currently sworn in some fashion hoping to get out of this class?
Ways to include season and Landsworn.
Ways to include people, okay. Anything?
Honestly, I haven't even retained the rules on what Landsworn can and can't do.
Okay, good. So a level set of what it is, okay.
What I can and can't do to them.
Good, yeah, exactly. What you can and can't do to them. Anybody else? All right, well, we're going to cover all those. So we'll talk about things like how to battle with Landsworn nearby. Like how do you make sure you don't hurt them versus what can you do to hurt them, because that is a thing. How to include people who don't, Landsworn who don't take the field. What are some things that you might find them doing or you might do, and so on. So what I have brought with me, put my thing down, is... So I brought, your bare minimum is a 3-inch, Landsworn or season sworn is a 3-inch orange ribbon. It could be something crocheted, but be aware it has to be this wide, has to be. I've seen some people do a makeshift one where it's a cute little small ribbon. It's just not big enough to be seen across the field. And so what I recommend to everybody, because you never know when you might have to choose to be season sworn because your back hurts, or you've stepped in a hole and twisted your ankle, or you got bit by a wasp on the hand and can't hold your weapon anymore. If every house, I would say, has one of these.
Also, the House of Healing usually has a couple on hand.
Good to know. House of Healing has some on hand. But yeah, if you just pick up a spool of this and throw and a pair of scissors and some safety pins in a Ziploc and just keep it either for yourself or in your house. It's a
House
good
of Healing also usually has an orange glow sticks for if you're at night.
Perfect, yes. House of Healing. So what I have done for Flora is, because she's just most of the time Landsworn, or season sworn anyway, sworn in some fashion, is I created 2 cowls. I created 2 cowls. One of them just has a pretty little blue band, so I'll wear that to feasts and things when I know she'll be safe. But if there's going to be some sort of fighting, she has that orange ribbon, and there's a chain of office that's sewn on there, so it just looks a little bit fancier. And she wears it all the time. So it can be as fancy or not as you like. But that is how you identify a Landsworn or season sworn. Let's see. We are going to go through the rules a little bit at a time and answer questions along the way. So what is it? Out of game, it's someone who is not battling for whatever reason. Maybe they're choosing not to battle. It could be that they want to play the game, but they're just really not into hitting people, and they don't really like that part of it. But man, they love to role play, and they love the community, and they want to hang out with their family or their friends or whatever. They don't have to take the field. They don't have to own a weapon. They could choose just because that's how they want to play, not to battle. They may choose because of medical reasons, and it could be long-term medical reasons, fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, etc. In my case, I was in a car accident when I was 19, crushed both ankles. I was caught between the car and the pavement. So running across uneven ground is the recipe for disaster. I can walk just fine. I can go on mods just fine. I just can't run across uneven ground. I can't play in the mud. I can't be caught off guard and risk jacking them up because it puts me out of commission for the weekend. So I choose not to do those things. But I mean, really, honestly, the real reason that anybody is Landsworn is none of our business. They'll probably tell you if they want you to know or if they don't really care. But yeah, just know if you see the orange, they are Landsworn or season sworn. They have chosen not to engage in melee combat. Question.
Is there a difference between sashes, boardwood season, or Landsworn, or does it really matter?
They look the same. They absolutely look the same. The difference between Landsworn is they've made this to be a permanent character choice, and season sworn is perhaps for this event I am not engaging in battle, or perhaps for this watch. Yeah, it's a watch is your minimum.
Okay.
So it could be from, I'm having really horrible stomach pains this morning. I'm sure I'll be fine. I'm choosing not to battle, so I'm going to put on my chain of office, we call that, my orange ribbon, and until the watch changes over, I have to stay in that. but it's a conscious choice made in advance. It's not like, oh, here come the crawl, let me put on my thing now. Not allowed.
Oh, now the crawler gone.
Yeah, now the crawler gone. Yeah, exactly. You're like, oh, I wasn't feeling good, but the crawler here. Okay, now I feel good. Now I'm going to battle. It's a conscious choice for a set duration. Yep, good question.
And you can set, like, start your first watch and be like, I'm season sworn for this watch, and then wait and see how you feel for the next
Absolutely.
watch. Just check in with staff.
Yep.
And be like, no, I need to stay.
Exactly right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a key thing. Let staff know, let the plot staff know, hey, I am season sworn for this duration. And they'll that way they know. And so if suddenly they're like, wait a minute, why are you fighting? You told us you were season sworn. It keeps everybody honest. The other piece in the in-game definition is that Landsworn and season sworn have sworn an oath of service to the land, to the community. It's an honored position. In my head, and this totally just in my brain, I think of it as like this is the Buddhist monk who is, all love and peace and not going to hurt anybody, but is there to help do the things and can do focused work or help the refugees or do other things. It's an honored position. It's not elevated above anybody else, but it is a special thing, and that's kind of the trade-off. Yeah.
Isn't it true that Landsworn, the office of Landsworn, is what is healing the scar tissue on the cycle?
Is it? Yeah. It is. Yes, it is. I don't know. Yes, it's not in the rules as such, but yeah.
We found that out of read the story.
Oh, very nice. Very good. All right. So let's see. So because it's an honored position and they've chosen to do service and help heal the land, anyone doing harm against them is seen as a breaking of hospitality in every civilized area. So it's not just heroes deciding not to do injury. It's like the monsters, etc. don't harm, physically harm.
Can the NPCs be Landsworn that are not heroes?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. All right. So now that you know that it's an honored position, does it shift your thinking about Landsworn, season sworn, those that you engage with? Would it possibly impact your role play at all?
It could, in my opinion, because I'd want to go to a season sworn or Landsworn first, because if it's an honor position, that's their job is to help.
Is to help, right?
So this I need your help. Come, we have a task like I did with Flora when we created the anti-venom kit.
Yes.
We did
yes.
that, and
I
came to Flora first. Says we need
example.
your help. So
yep, and that's something she was really excited. And as especially people that normally fight and then they are suddenly season sworn because something has happened or they're having a day. I hear over and over again that they feel like they were useless. They feel like, why am I here? I should just go home. Nobody's engaging me. There's so much more to what is possible. And so I'm hoping this class will educate those that take it, and then you'll go out and spread the word.
It is so much better now than it was in chapter 1. I can't even fathom.
Really good.
So much
it's
better
so much
now.
better, and it should continue to get better. All right, so obviously people that don't participate in hand-to-hand combat, they're still welcome, and they can still participate in lots of things. You have to wear the chain of office. It has to be at least 3 inches wide. That paper is done. It has to be on the outside of your kit. So if you are temporarily Landsworn and you've pinned the ribbon to yourself and then you throw on a cloak, we can't see it. So make sure that you reposition that to the outside. So in Flora's case, I built things such that that cowl is always on the outside of me no matter what. So if you do end up going full time or you're making a special kit for it, keep that in mind that it needs to be on the outside all the time. Let's see. It is not a guarantee you will never be hit because accidents happen. But it is our hope that we can train people to not intentionally target you. So, if you're if you're Landsworn or season sworn and you go on a mod, which you absolutely can, there are some things to keep in mind. One is you cannot do damage. You absolutely cannot do any sort of call that causes damage to a non-willing opponent. Hold on. There are heals, however, that it's a benefit, right? If I'm healing somebody, that also carries with it a bit of damage, like heal and weakness or heal and slow. Because I am also doing a beneficial, that is allowed. Okay? Yes, question.
Are status effects considered damage? If I have something that is straight paralyzed by whatever, there's no damage involved, but it is an adverse effect.
It's a non-beneficial. Hold on, let me actually read it. You may not use a skill or ability with a non-beneficial effect on an unwilling target.
Gotcha.
So yeah, in that case, you wouldn't be able to do it.
Just double checking.
Good clarification.
Yeah, it's a good clarification.
Non-willing is also key.
Yes,
Yes.
so you can try it and they can just say no effect.
Right.
True.
Well,
If they know they can say no effect. so
They may
you have to
not.
make that clear.
Right.
what I was actually trying to get to is if you have someone who for some reason wants you to paralyze them, like they know they're gonna go after that thing over there and it's gonna kill them, could you just freeze me?
Or I have frenzy. Can you pause me real quick?
Frenzy doesn't work that way, but the key is it's non-willing and non-beneficial.
Oh, okay.
If you're frenzied, you can't consent to the paralysis.
Right.
Well, and you may only use skills or abilities with non-beneficial effects on willing targets if those effects also include a beneficial effect. So if it's just a paralyze, I don't think we can.
No, but I can.
You could do a heal and paralyze if
I
you've got
have
something like
all kinds
that.
of versatility when it comes to that. I
Yes.
can arrange a heal and paralyze.
Yes, perfect. Okay, good clarification. All right, so this kind of goes if you're Landsworn, Season Sworn, and you get hit by monsters, or you're a monster wanting to impact someone who is Landsworn or Season Sworn. Here's the rules: they cannot hit you. They can't target you with a packet, with an arrow, with an actual weapon. Not allowed. If that happens, simply clarify, just like you would a red call or what have you, Landsworn, Season Sworn, and they usually go, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Carry on with it. If they point at you, however, any damage causing, as in like would reduce your vitality, that gets negated. You say reduced by Landsworn, and you take an agony instead. No, sorry. Let me back up. That's a different. I'm getting my things confused. All right. If instead of hitting, you can point as a monster. You can point to someone and say, "By my gesture, mighty short paralyze," and you can paralyze the Landsworn. So if Landsworn is busy doing a puzzle or something, or is busy healing, and you want to put an end to that as a monster, you can mighty short paralyze them, and that paralyzes them for how long? Short?
10 seconds.
10 seconds. Yep.
How far away can you do that by my gesture?
Doesn't say.
Okay. As opposed to like, do you have to get in your melee weapon's range?
Nope.
just
Oh,
not hit
no.
them?
No,
No.
a
Okay.
gesture,
No.
as long as they can see you, and if
And they can
And
hear
it's
it.
clear that you're the target.
Okay.
Yes.
if I go by my gesture, Mina, mighty short paralyzed, and you're all the way across the field, but you look up because you heard your name,
Yes.
and you see me gesturing at you,
Yes.
that still works.
Gotcha.
Correct.
And if I don't hear you, get closer.
I have a question. According to the gesture rules, you can override a duration by holding the gesture. Is that true in this case, or is that an exception?
It doesn't override. The timer to end the effect doesn't start until your gesture stops.
Okay, is that an effect?
You're not actually overriding the duration.
Are you sure? Because that is
I am
directly contradictory to how I read it, but.
It is
okay.
not overriding
She
the
teaches
duration.
a spellcasting
Right.
class.
Okay.
If I do a by my gesture short route, the short is how long it takes you to clear that route.
Right.
So this lasts. When I do this, your short starts.
That's even more powerful than I thought.
Timer
Wow,
does
that's
not start
huge.
until the gesture breaks.
Yeah.
Hers.
What do you have? What is your why is
I
yours
have
different?
a short root and short weakness.
And she
Oh.
just holds it. Like, it stays.
Stay right there. Don't get up. You
They
stay
walked me
right there.
backwards and like held my arm up.
Nice.
Because the short or long specifically denotes the recovery time.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You
Okay.
can't start recovering until the effect is done.
Okay.
All right. So other than not being able to be physically hit, the Landsworn and Season Sworn are affected by all game effects otherwise normally, regardless of delivery, except if someone hits you with a frenzy or an inflict challenge, that's when you say reduced by Landsworn and you take an agony. So someone could gesture and drop your vitality easily, can drop your whatever. And you have to take that as a Landsworn Seasonsworn. So yes, you're still at risk in battle, just as everybody else is at risk. You don't get to go out and like, you can't touch me. No, you can't physically touch me, but you can touch me and like affect my vitality and drop me down to 0 and kill me, just as you can anybody else.
Does not make you immune to the long walk.
It does not make you immune to the long walk. Exactly. Yes. Let's see. We've talked about the non-beneficial. Yes. Okay. So let's kind of recap that. Landsworn for a Seasonsworn is on the battlefield. They can not attack really in any fashion. They can heal their folks and cause some sort of non-beneficial, like a slow or a weakness or what have you, as they do so. What's that?
As long as it's linked. 'Cause it's
As long
side
as it's
effect.
linked, yes, as long as it's linked. They cannot be physically hit. They can be impacted by verbals, by my voice in this place. All of those still hit Landsworn and Seasonsworn just as it hits everybody else. So they still have to do all the role playing.
So, I have a question. If you have, if you're spellcasting and you have
Yes.
a delivery that would normally hit, like a packet delivery or a weapon implement delivery, do you negate your spell for the Mighty Short Paralyze, or do you just deliver that to the Landsworn as a gesture?
No, any normal attack that would normally be delivered by hitting in some fashion, you just do Mighty Short Paralyze instead.
Okay.
And as a monster, you don't have to be told that you have that ability. You have that ability against Landsworn and Seasonsworn, not against other people, but that's your translation. Just know if you see an orange chain of office out there, that's
You automatically have.
you automatically have that.
You can't hit them, but you can paralyze them.
You can paralyze them, yeah, and you can do all the verbals all day long, yeah. All right, so the last part of this is pop quiz, but it's a lengthy pop quiz. So, can a Landsworn or Seasonsworn go on a mod?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely. While on that mod, what are some things that they might do?
Solve puzzles.
Solve puzzles, yes.
Witness
Heal,
to history.
witness history. There's some over here.
Gather information.
Gather information.
Sneak around.
Yes, they can scout. Pick up stealth.
Relay information.
Yep. If for those ones where you have to go rescue people, they can help escort the rescued people back. They might, let's see. Oh, one thing that Flora has, you can't do non-beneficial, but you can up people's protection. Yes.
You can buff.
You can buff, yeah, absolutely. So one thing that Flora has, so as a Landsworn, I can't wield a weapon, but I can hold a shield. And so we have shield wall in the house, in Piper House, where you get X number of us in a line with shields, and we can buff people in
Nice.
that. Yeah, so I can be back there healing people or doing puzzles or whatever, and then we just need X number of other Pipers to come back with their shields and do the thing, people get buffed. Or maybe I want to risk running up there and being like, do the thing, and then run back.
To clarify, that still means that you have to have a shield proficiency.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I
absolutely.
can't just tootle around with a shield as
No,
Nina
pick up your
without
shield
buying a shield
proficiency.
proficiency.
Exactly.
But it does mean that they would make good bannermen or good entourage of
Yes,
the unit, as
yes.
long as they're not doing the
Yeah.
hurting people, because granting something
Right.
that lets other people hurt people
Right.
It's just as
doesn't
good.
hurt people.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, agree.
Bannerman makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you want to keep that bannerman safe.
Yeah.
You know,
Let's
keep
be
him
clear,
behind
paralyzing
them.
a bannerman?
Well, they can make calls.
Right, but
Yeah.
it's a short paralyze.
So as you encounter people who are in that, like, oh, I don't know how to play because I can't fight with my sword because I'm hurt. Are you a speaker? Are you this? Are you that? Give
Do you
them
want
these
to borrow
ideas.
my horn?
Yeah, something. Yeah, it starts to include them a little bit.
Oh,
Yes.
the other thing that we talked about some in economy that you could do as a Seasonsworn, loot the bodies.
Loot the bodies. That's a
Yeah,
great
this is a
A lot
one.
of people have been forgetting to loot the
Yes. Yeah, and that
Some
could
of
be
us
their
don't do it on
dedicated.
principle.
But that could be their, if you know, like, as you're doing your pre-mod briefing, be like, Lance, you're in charge. You loot the bodies. Like, we are going to go and continue on and
And to
loot 'em.
clarify with that, that is different than salvage or scavenge, whichever one it
Salvage
is.
and scavenge are skills that augment looting the body.
Right, but anybody can loot a body. You just get different things and do different things to use the other skills.
Even better if your Landsworn has those abilities.
Yeah. So that's good. I know what I'm going to be adding to my
It's an important
thing.
clarification.
Yeah.
Because it came up on the last mod in the keep where we got the entire wing cleared for us.
Yes.
That's what it cost. But we were looting bodies, but people were asking for salvage and scavenge skills for it. And I'm like, well, I have it so I can do it. That's great. I got this. But not everybody else did.
Right.
And so we had to wait and get it clarified that anybody can loot a body.
No, anybody can loot, you just may not, without salvage or scavenge, you may not realize you need to like dig under the doublet or check the boot.
Right.
There might be,
To get the
there
good
might be better
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, there might be better or different stuff. So monsters will go out with standard loot. because
Okay.
There's a plan for that.
Yeah.
But there may be monsters or non-monsters, there may be NPCs that have maps, spells, pieces of information, extra money.
Pieces of equipment.
Extra specific items that are rarer.
I
That
have
are
never
hidden.
seen that used yet, so I'm excited to see that happen.
Yeah.
Because they will typically have it, it's just in a different spot. So looting the body, you get a handful of whatever it is.
Yeah.
Scavenging the body or salvaging the body, you may get that piece of ettercap web that's in their boot or something else instead.
So from a game mechanic standpoint, the monster will be told someone has to approach you with like, I have scavenge and I'm looking.
And this is the stuff that goes
And this
with
is the
that.
thing you get. Okay. And so as a person looting, if you're just looting, you say, I'm looking, I'm looting, I'm words like that versus like, I am using this skill.
If they loot, you give this. If they scavenge, you give this as well or instead.
Perfect. Good. That's great. Thank you. All right. What are some things that a Landsworn Season Sworn cannot do?
Hit people.
They can't hit people.
Offensive maneuvers.
Yeah, offensive maneuver. Well, with weapons. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, any.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
Own
Any.
weakness.
Yeah.
Frenzy.
Right. Yes. All right. Okay. Away from combat. So not on a mod. What are some things Landsworns and Season Sworns might be doing?
Making things.
Making things. Holy moly. Yes.
Role playing.
Role playing. Yep.
Honestly, outside of combat, they can probably do almost all of it. because
Absolutely.
It has no impact on their non-combat piece.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of Landsworn go on, like scavenging missions, like we're gonna go out to this node and.
Gathering runs.
Yes,
Gathering runs.
harvest. Go out and harvest. Yeah, and so if you have someone near you that's Landsworn, or you are Landsworn, Season Sworn, and you want to harvest, that's a fun little party when in between mods. Like, hey, we have half an hour. We're
Some of the best role play happens on those little.
100%. Yeah, yeah. And sometimes plot will put, the looking for trouble type monsters out there just in case, and you may run into them. So have fighters with you if you decide to do this.
Become a priest, convert them, it'll be fine.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Another thing that I like to do, and I'm seeing more and more people do it, as when we know that heroes are coming back, is waiting at that entrance point with your bandages, with your water, with whatever to like welcome them back and like, oh my gosh, what happened? I was so worried. All of the role play and all of the healing at the same time. Let's see, other things. Okay, here's one that I have seen. It's problematic, and you'll immediately understand why. Someone brings children, and they want to go on a mod, and they automatically assume, oh, well, you're Landsworn, you're not doing anything. Can you watch my kids? And then they disappear for 4 hours. And I'm like, I will happily entertain your kids while you go to the bathroom, but I'm not
Well, and
by
here's a
default
question.
babysitter.
Here's a question, when that
Yep.
happens, do they approach you before the event and ask you to be a designated?
Oh, no, it's never that way. It's never actually happened. But I have seen people get saddled with a sleeping baby, and they're happy to do that for a while. But at some point, they're like, I have other things I have to do. Where is parent?
Sponsors count regardless of age.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Also, so it's not. Certainly anybody is welcome to help wherever. I just want to make it very clear, so it's on video, that Landsworn and Season Sworn are not your default babysitters. They're not your default janitors. They're not your default fire tenders. They're not your default cooking for the house peoples. They may want to do that.
Yeah.
They may want to do that, and that's great, but they should not be.
They're not your mom.
They're not your mom. Exactly. Or your dad. Yeah, exactly. They're there to serve the community, but not serve just Josh. Yeah.
Josh and Joe.
And Joe. Yes, exactly. They're not, it's serve in a game sense. All right. Okay. Here's the scenario. A Landsworn or Season Sworn goes on a mod, and the following things happen. What is the next step? A monster hits the Landsworn or Season Sworn with a weapon.
Caution, Landsworn.
Caution Landsworn, point it out. Yeah.
Correct.
If you are the offending monster, what is your response?
My bad.
I'm so sorry.
So sorry, and carry on. Yeah, you don't have to make a big deal out of it. Just be like, oh yeah, didn't realize it.
You also don't have to
Landsworn.
replace it with the Mighty Sword Paralyze if you're not interested in holding on to them or pinning them down. You don't have to, but you can. It's not a bad thing while you've got them right there and you've got their attention.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. You'd be like, oh, sorry, paralyzed, by the way.
I bring that up as well. I think it was Mina. This was one of the broken blade monsters. I think you were captured, and I used you as a human shield as a Landsworn.
Oh.
And it was super fun to do that sort of thing. So
Hey. Wow.
So we were in spellcasting, but it went to the fight club, and the fight club is too fighting for us. because
Okay.
We are broken.
You are welcome to have a seat. Absolutely.
so
We're
we were like,
approaching the end,
Let's go crash
but
the Landsworn
absolutely.
class.
We were like,
Come on in.
Let's go to the Landsworn place.
All right.
We're broken.
Perfect. Okay. Let's see. A monster recognizes a Landsworn chain of office and wants to somehow stop that Landsworn from doing what they're doing. We've already mentioned it.
And then just a short paralysis.
Mighty short paralyzed. Mighty short paralyzed. And what's the difference between mighty and not
Mighty
mighty?
you can't really defend against. You can only have a mighty defend, and I don't think there is one for a Landsworn to use.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Do you have, as a monster, do you have to be told you can do that?
Nope.
No, you just can do that. What about magical monsters, spell-casting monsters? How can they impact Landsworn?
By any non-hitting delivery.
By all the ways, yeah, exactly.
BMV, BMG,
Yep,
voice and gesture.
Yep.
By your name.
yep.
My
Yeah,
gaze.
if a spellcaster is
My
stupid enough to
gaze.
set down his spellbook, they get what they deserve.
Can Landsworn, Season Sworn be hit by things that carry stuff like poison, like lasting effects?
Yeah,
Sure they
as
can.
long as the delivery was not contact.
Yep,
Right.
exactly. Yep. All right. Monster attacks with a verbal that includes either frenzy or inflict challenge effect. What does the Landsworn say?
Reduced by Landsworn and take an agony.
You got it. Reduced by Landsworn, take an agony. All right. Landsworn or Season Sworn player, or really any player, has reached a point of I just have to get through this day. I am in so much pain for all of the reasons, and I want to nope out. But I rode with all these people who are having a good time, and I'm kind of stuck. What and here come the monsters in the town. Okay, what do I do? What are my options? What are your options?
Working on it.
Cloak of Note. This is a thing that they teach in the kids class.
It's for kids.
For kids.
It's specifically for kids.
But
Yeah.
you can, they told us as the parents that we could,
Because you're going with the kids.
oh, okay.
Yeah. Florida doesn't get a cloak of nope, unfortunately.
I'm working on it.
Oh,
Legit, I have a downtime in for an alchemical
Nice.
note cloak.
If you have
Okay.
kids who cloak out, the parent can cloak out.
Yes. Are there any safe places in the town?
Tavern.
And around the fire.
Sort of.
the inner circle.
Sort of. That doesn't mean that a verbal won't hit you there.
That's fair.
Right.
It means that they're less likely to chase you with weapons.
Less likely. Yes. Less likely in the trading post, less likely in the tavern. Doesn't mean it won't happen.
Designated, I know that
Less
structures-
likely.
Structures can be barricaded.
I think if that's a magical thing you have to
There are
do.
barricade powers that'll.
There are
Yeah.
effects that you can boost your structure with.
Which means they have to destroy those to destroy the structure.
And then they can get at you. But that's a lot of work to do for just one or two people.
Yeah.
We may have set the tavern on fire last chapter.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, it burned pretty hard. So just beware, because a lot of people, it's a common thing that people think, oh, if I'm just in the tavern, I'm fine, and I can ignore what's going on. No, you can probably still get hit in there. Be aware of that. Let's see. However, the likelihood of being physically attacked, or if you're hiding and kind of quietly sitting in the shadows of your house pavilion, chances are pretty good they're not going to see you. You might be just fine,
We
but
have
there's no
people
guarantee.
sleep through entire mods.
Yeah.
Plot will never write something where monsters are specifically told, go attack the people in the trading post or the people in
Yeah.
the tavern. It may be we're going to attack town, but we will never specifically say, no, go attack the people that are doing that thing. Because number one, material cards everywhere is just a horrible mess.
Oh, yeah. Oh, can you imagine?
But what it does mean is if you're in there, that's fine. If you go in and you're doing stuff from inside, you're acknowledging you're actually participating in.
And then you're like drawing them in.
That's different. So if you want to go in and hide, cool. If you want to hop in and out so that you can and can't be hit, that's sort of lousy. So
That's a little bad, yeah.
Yeah.
but if you're actively like working in the trading post and I'm trying to do a trade, I'm not going to have somebody come up and hit you because that's horrible.
That's its own kind of D-bad.
Exactly
Well, and I feel
right.
like most of the monsters are not gonna just be like, you sleeping, ah. They're also, because they're also trying to D-bad.
Yeah.
Mean,
Don't put it past plot to be like, your target is Kasha.
Now, I say we've had, because we've actually had people who like fell asleep and the entire mod happened and they woke up and were like,
What?
did I miss a thing?
because the monsters didn't notice.
Yeah.
That this person was there asleep.
Right. The only time we've gone into people's space, like into pavilions and things and messed with their stuff, we got approval ahead of time to do it.
Oh, you mean like when the,
Yeah.
when the sheep exploded the Camry cart?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the sheep. All right. If just real talk, if you as a player have reached that point, you might consider spending some of your time doing some extra guardhouse stuff because you can lay low there. You're absolutely not going to have to role play beyond what you can stand,
And they're
or at all.
always not low effort, but
Low energy,
energy
right?
things to
Calmly
do.
folding. We're not going to make you carry heavy bins from one end to the other if you're having a high pain day. Just
The
be like,
House of Healing is actually one of those spots that's relatively safe.
Yeah.
Because it's an in-game and out-of-game House of Healing, so if you actually
Right.
have that heat exhaustion moment and stuff,
yeah,
We've got that hammock and you can.
yes,
we're not going to attack the person who is very clearly actually ill.
Right. Yeah. And there's a difference between being season sworn for the whole watch and just like, oh, I am having a heat issue and I need to cool down.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do you guys know from one day to the next if you're going to be season sworn for a watch? No?
I don't know from
So-
one watch to the next. At the beginning of the watch, I make the call.
Yeah, exactly. So, what?
Remind me, is the
Yes.
watch the whole weekend or each chunk?
Each patrol shift.
Okay.
So you have.
Yeah.
That's what I just wanted to.
Yep.
Typically 3 watches in a day.
Right.
Yep.
Watch day events.
Yeah.
Right.
And it used to be meal to meal, but that's not always how that works out.
Generally, though, it's kind
It's
of.
typically like
Ish.
breakfast to
Ish.
lunchy to dinner,
Yeah.
dinner on.
To whatever.
Exactly.
Dinner to talk time.
So,
Exactly.
because like sometimes you might be having like an issue in the morning but you're okay and you can push through the first couple mods and then like all of a sudden you're like, okay, I got hit in the thing in the place where it hurts and now I am done for the day.
Exactly.
We
Right.
also have some people who go season sworn at night because they
Can't see.
cannot
Night
and will not
Mhm.
attempt night.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also a difference between you get hit too hard and you have to step out of game for 5 or 10 minutes.
Or
just
the rest
to-
of the mod.
Or the rest of the month.
Or
Sure.
the rest of the mod, but there's a difference. You can go season sworn in the middle of a mod as long as you inform staff and you have your chain of office, or you can just be like, I need a minute. I need a minute.
And if you go season sworn like that in the middle of a mod, I'd imagine that sets you for the watch.
It does.
Right.
Yeah. There's no just I'm
Right.
season sworn for 10 minutes. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
That's why it's I need a minute or
I got clocked in the face with a shield. I'm gonna go over there now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. So because you don't know from one moment to the next, what's your game plan from a packing perspective? I shall point down to my feet down here.
as I am in charge of the House of Healing box, I always have 2 on me.
Good. Okay, but let's say 5 people have a really bad day. It's not your responsibility.
It is correct.
Right?
Our
There's
responsibility.
usually some around we can find if you're just the one-off, but really just grab a spool, put it in a Ziploc with a pair of scissors and some safety pins, and just have it on hand. And that way you always have the ability to take care of yourself and for the random person who you know doesn't have the spool and the scissors and the safety pins.
Because it might have just, if you know you have a chronic issue,
Exactly.
prepare yourself.
Yes.
If somebody just
Right.
gets hurt, then they
That's
might
totally
not
different.
expect
Even if
that.
you're
Yep.
super hale, there's the gopher hole.
Exactly.
You step in and you twist your ankle and now you can't run. You can walk, kinda, but
Yeah.
then you don't want to miss out on the action.
Right. Right. Oh, one other thing I will say, since we have lots of people in here who aren't currently but like to play with Landsworn, Season Sworn, if they go on a mod with you, if it's if you know why they are Landsworn, Season Sworn, it's helpful. So in my case, right, running is an issue. Weird, uneven ground is an issue. I can do puzzles all day long. I'm happy to escort somebody calmly back to the thing. But what I see has happened many times is I'll go on a thing and there's puzzles and the fighters have been busy fighting and then they go do the puzzles. And the Landsworn are like, I would like to do something on this mod too, please. So being aware that they are able to do, or maybe they have a headache and they're not able to do, that's helpful information. But then also challenge gates, etc., where you have to leave now. Everyone tends to wait for the very last moment so they can get all the role play possible, and then they're like, run, 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 run. And all us little Landsworns that can't run, we're like, okay, we're just going to pretend we're running and please don't kill me. Please pretend that,
So
yeah.
time management.
Time management is a big thing if you have Landsworn that have the mobility issues.
So you're in charge now to herd this cat. You give us a 10-minute warning and we better get our act together.
Sure, that's a great idea. Yeah.
I highly recommend, I got a programmable interval timer off of Amazon. It was $20. I programmed it for a 1 minute and then 4 minutes after that. So I have a standard rest and a long rest, and it also has a clock on it.
Helpful. Very helpful. Yeah.
I put my my ancestry band over my watch, and my Fitbit has a timer on it, so I can just like peek up the edge of the band and
Clever.
hit my timer and hit play, and then it'll vibrate when I'm
Ooh, so you don't have to keep watching it.
Right.
Watching your watch. Yeah. Cool.
and that way, and it's I mean, you can be like kind of subtle about it. You don't have to be like
yes. Yes.
You can be
Yeah.
kind of like do.
But we are empowered to do that time management so that we can
Yep.
be like, we have someone with mobility issues, they're going to need 10 minutes to get back instead of 5 minutes.
Right.
I have a recording of
Yep.
Talia's death whistle
Oh.
that she uses when she's in trike form, and that's the alarm that I set. So her in-game reaction is what happens. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
we all got
Yes, I like it. I like it. Well, that's all the material I have. Do you have any final questions or comments or
Thanks for letting
words
us
for
know.
wisdom? Oh, you're welcome. Hope you'll come back for the other one.
Okay,
We're doing this
right.
one more time.
Do you guys know what you can do to a Landsworn or Season's Horn if you're monstering? You want to get them.
things.
Yeah, basically non-touchy
Non-touchy
things.
things.
You
But
can do all
in
the
place of any attack that you have.
all the verbal things and all the I will drain you and do all the weakness and all of
Mighty
the
short paralyzed.
yes. Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah. Now, yeah, sorry, I answered my
okay.
own question as I thought it
Well,
out.
what is your question? Somebody else may not have thought of it.
I was just thinking about, because we were just coming from Fight Club down there where they took spellcasting 2 down to Fight Club, and we were like, oh, I don't want to get hit over there.
Can't get hit right now.
Can't do
The
that.
body can't anymore.
You
Yeah.
guys have become Season Sworn.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we were sitting there watching people fight, and we were like, do you want to go to the Landsworn class?
Yeah.
This is kind of not fun.
So for you guys, so what I've done for Flora, because I thought she would be Season Sworn and she'd maybe play some of it and fight some of it and not fight some of it. Turns out she just doesn't fight. But she wants to go on mods. As I created 2 cowls, and one has the orange band and the other one doesn't. So as a Season Sworn, I can, just swap out as necessary. So if you find yourself, you're like, I never know from one day to the next. Some days I feel great and I want to hit everything and can get hit, and then other days, absolutely not. Consider doing that as a costume piece that can swap in and out. Yeah, that's not
Outermost
just
layer?
a piece of ribbon.
Outermost layer?
Yep.
Minimum 3 inches wide.
Yes,
And at
so
night?
that's really wide. It's
Yeah.
wide.
That's the widest ribbon that you can get at Joann's. Preferably non-wired, because those are really potent.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, don't do wired. It's bad.
And then for
Like
night,
giant
you'll
hair.
need an orange glow stick.
Oh, it's got to be on your shoulders.
Okay.
Yeah, it has to be
Okay.
shoulder to shoulder. Yeah.
And then, so if you're Landsworn or
Mhm.
Season Sworn,
Yep.
and you're casting out there,
Let me back up. As Season Sworn, you cannot do any damage
Okay, so you can't do any.
You may
casters.
only do adverse effect wherein it is linked to a beneficial effect.
Okay.
So like a heal and
To
weakness,
a
heal
will-
and
to a
slow,
willing
that kind of
target.
thing
Okay.
is fine. Yeah, to a willing target, exactly.
I will heal you to death. Is where, like I bandage you, I'm gonna bandage this unwilling target to
Yeah.
give him weakness automatically.
Well,
Yeah.
and there's
Right.
rules in place in the base game where if somebody gives you a beneficial effect,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't want it, you just say no effect.
Yes.
Yeah, true,
Okay,
yeah,
So you can't, okay.
right.
But
So if
you
you're a
could heal,
caster,
or
you
could.
You can buff. you
yeah,
can
let's go through
grant
this again,
holiday.
right? So yeah, you can buff, you can heal, you can be a bannerman, you can scout, you can do puzzles, you can do focused
You can
work,
use items all day, all night.
you can help carry
And you
things.
can heal, even if it has like a weakness or something.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're fine.
Yeah,
So you can use catnap,
and what does catnap do?
short stun and heal tier.
Oh,
twice a
okay,
week.
nice, yeah.
And since we had mods last year, we had monsters who actually were, their problem was you literally healed them to death. Like you hit them with healing spells, and that's what killed them. That would actually be something that's aimed at the Land and Season Sworn, because you can do those. You're not actually doing a non-beneficial thing.
Right.
Assuming it doesn't require touch.
And they would specifically be instructed that they are going to consent to those in that respect. Because it's specifically designed so that the healers can take something out. So, like last time we had a demon and you killed them by healing them.
Nice.
That's awesome.
No logs. Gotta love 'em.
But in these rules, that would be an unwilling target.
They're instructed that they're a willing target.
Oh, gotcha, okay, the
The
monsters are
monsters are
instructed.
instructed.
Understood.
All right,
Right.
so
Good to know.
beef the flask to 11 the next time we go out.
All right.
Sometimes things happen.
That's great.
That's interesting. Okay, so that's good to know. So then it's something to consider beefing up the healing skills if you know that you
Oh, death
might
by
be
hospitality
getting,
someday.
Yeah.
because
Oh.
you might be getting hurt and
Oh, yeah.
not being able to cast your damaging spells. You might want to beef up your other character aspect.
Yeah, yeah. Another thing that we brought up was looting. If you're season sworn and out on a mod, you might be the designated looter. So pick up scavenge and pick up what's the other one?
Salvage.
Salvage.
Scavenge.
Yeah,
And also domains. Like
Yeah, if you're
absolutely.
fighting,
Collect
domains.
from everything. Yeah. So there's plenty to do. Okay, I think that's it. Are we out of time?
Ta-da.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you, everybody. Everybody wave to the camera.